Hello and welcome back to your local video store, Videorama, where we got the 5-night rentals and we make your movie suggestions battle it out in the theme dome. Yeah.
No.
We got a phone call from an old lady who wants her grandkids to leave the house, so she wants obscure killer doll movies. This is Videorama, and I'm Adrian.
And I'm Donnie.
Hi.
I'm Linda, but you could call me the cheese. Maybe?
Yeah. People call you stuff.
Don't call me late for dinner.
That old chestnut.
I'm the video llama.
Oh,
Speaking of
Linda.
old chestnuts.
Yeah. Speaking of old, we went back to 1972 for my killer dolls selection, which is an anthology horror movie which has killer dolls in part of it. Can't have killer dolls in every scene. What do you want? God. Your movie didn't even have a killer doll in every scene.
I want a good movie.
Had a killer doll.
Yeah, Herbert Lom. So this is from Amicus Productions. This is Asylum, directed by Roy Ward Baker and written by Robert Bloch, who you people probably know as the author of Psycho, even though he did a fuckload of things over a career that lasted over 40 years. He was pals with H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard back in the day at Weird Tales when he was like a teenager writing for Weird Tales. He has done quite a bit, written quite a few screenplays, and he wrote multiple anthology movies for Amicus, including Torture Garden.
Amicus.
Yeah, Amicus is the British film production company. They were sort of competition for Hammer Horror, but they mostly focused in on doing anthologies. They also are the ones who did those 1970s Edgar Rice Burroughs adaptations, like The Land That Time Forgot and At the Earth's Core. The more you know. Yeah.
So what made you choose this one?
Well, y'all were like, hey, it's the movie's got to have killer dolls. I'm like, oh, man, is there a killer doll movie I don't hate? Oh, man, this is hard. I'm like, hey, Amicus makes those anthologies. Those are solid. Here we go.
Wait,
Plus, this thing's got a fucking epic cast. Like, you got Robert Powell in there as the psychiatrist guy who comes to the asylum, who you may remember as Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh,
From that
He made me
miniseries.
feel funny in my pants.
He made a lot of people feel funny in their pants. He kept getting cast. He's got those big doughy eyes, and
I was like, Jesus, save me.
yeah, that's Robert. Well, yeah, he was also in a weird Australian movie called Harlequin, aka Dark Forces, with David Hemmings, where he's like this god devil guy who like inserts himself into like this political guy's life and makes friends with his son, and may or may not be a murderous rapist. It's real. Look it up.
And in our first killer doll story, you've got Peter Cushing.
Yeah, Peter, yeah. In the segment called The Weird Tailor, Peter Cushing, Mr. Smith, comes to the poor tailor shop and he says, oh, I wish you could make a suit for me out of this magical material. You may only work at certain hours, sir. Were you Grand Moff Tarkin or something? Yeah.
And you may recognize him from Top Gun. Or Top Gun. Top Secret.
Gun. Yes, Top Secret.
Look, it's been a long day already, man. Like, I only got up a couple hours ago.
Well, what the heck with you? What the heck with you not managing your shit better? Yeah.
I slept through my alarm. Oh.
But yeah, no, there's the segment where the useless husband and the wife who won't give him the divorce, and so the husband and the mistress contrive to murder the wife and put her in a fridge. Only she's part of a mystical cult, so she's got a spooky bracelet, and so he's portioned up all the body parts,
but it's not voodoo.
He's wrapped them in brown paper and twine, and then the body parts come to get them, which is kind of like Clark Ashton Smith's Return of the Sorcerer.
I actually laughed out loud when Because I don't usually like punny humor, but I laughed out loud
Rest
when
in
he
peace.
said "rest in pieces." I'm like, it's just so
What else are you gonna say when you just chopped up your bitch wife? You know. Yeah, and you get from there you get the weird Taylor, and so there's the suit of magical material, which it turns out Peter Cushing doesn't have any money, even though the Taylor needs money, and he's going to put it on the corpse of his son to reanimate him, and he's like, "You're psycho, what the hell?" And Peter Cushing whips out a gun, and they fight, and Peter Cushing winds up dead. Then the daughter puts the suit on the mannequin. She won't destroy it because she's friends with the mannequin, and it brings him to life.
Yeah, what a sad life she must live. What a sad existence.
Well, she did live with the weird Taylor. You know, they're under the bridge in that part of London that's just not so affluent.
This is my only friend, Otto.
Yep.
He's my best friend because he doesn't talk.
Then you get Charlotte Rampling being brought home from the nut house by her brother, and she's like, "Oh, this is great. You know, I'm gonna be not subjected to being a mental patient anymore." It's like, "Oh, but you are, my dear. Here's your nurse. I'm gonna take these pills and see my magic secret friend, Britt Ekland." And Britt Ekland's like, "You don't kill people. It's me, honestly." Bond girl Britt Ekland.
Woman
she really
of,
got around back in the day.
the woman of your dreams.
She was the woman of a lot of people's dreams. She was kind of like a Bo Derek before Bo Derek, except she wasn't sex trafficked into an illegal marriage like Bo Derek.
Jesus.
Look that up. Yeah.
I feel like that's a bonus episode right there.
John Derek was a sick person.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think she was 15 when they got married. Yeah,
I also recognize her from The Wicker Man.
Yeah, she was in The Wicker Man. Yeah. Britt Ekland got around.
Not the Cage one.
And Charlotte Rampling, you know, she certainly made her stamp at the time. Like her star was kind of rising around then. Later on, she was in Orca and she was in Zardoz. She showed up a lot of places. And then we get the visiting psychiatrist gets to meet Herbert Lom, and Herbert Lom makes his dolls. In which he is imbued with life, and he's like, "Oh, doctor, you'd say they have batteries or they're wind-up toys." Well, they're wind-up toys, but so they got guts in them.
Yeah.
And they stab Patrick Magee in the back of the head. Patrick Magee, who you may remember from Dementia 13 and A Clockwork Orange. I'm pleased you enjoy good wine. Have another glass.
That was kind of another like unintentionally funny part where the doctor's just talking to him, and then all of a sudden,
yeah.
I should say all of a sudden. I'm like very.
At least it didn't have the unholy, loud, blaring fucking music track playing.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can remember from this fucking film.
What the classical music soundtrack?
Let's go with classical music soundtrack.
Well, it is, though.
Not blaringly raping your eardrums music. Yes.
Oh, I like that music. You got a night.
I know you do. I know you do.
Dun, dun, bum,
You're doing it at an acceptable
bum,
level. Their thing was just
bum,
screaming in your eardrum, just fucking it. Adrian, come back. Come back.
Are they crazy or are there ghosts?
I wish there was something.
This is my kind of horror right here.
I know it is.
Abominable Dr. Phibes, you know.
Oh, I know.
And the Christopher Lee Dracula movies and
movies that were vastly more entertaining. Yes.
It's never like my horror selections. What the fuck with the two of you?
We have taste.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, God, help us. We have taste.
No.
When you watch our horror movies and you step on a doll, you don't see a bunch of.
Yeah, there was some voodoo shit between him and the doll.
Oh God!
Yes, we could tell because they were using the Captain Kirk face lighting to let us know he is one with the doll and the doll is with him.
Yeah, it's 1972. That's how they did it. This is before The Exorcist. Horror was a different thing back then.
I know, but it was just.
You got to view all movies with
thing.
the context of their times.
It's
okay,
your thing. Yeah,
it is my
get
thing.
Your ice cream. You found your thing.
Did you find your special purpose?
Oh.
We did your hokey German thing. Now we're doing my hokey British thing.
We're doing your interpretation thing. That's what we've been doing. Yes.
Well, was it? I don't know. Well, I guess you could call them killer dolls. Guess
They're dolls.
Killer
They're-
doll.
Well, he's got a bunch of them in a cupboard, but there's only one
Yes,
that goes.
but he only
does
uses
murder.
the one that had his likeness, and then he
Yeah.
dies.
Well, yeah, and your movie had the one haunted vent figure, and Linda's the other one where the vent figure was an extension of Anthony Hopkins' mind. So
Yes.
one's okay. We've been doing
I know. I'm just want that clarified. There aren't killer dolls, just one killer doll.
Wait, can you
Why are you
also
doubting the
consider
potential of his other dolls?
the mannequin Otto?
Yeah, you could. Well, I guess you could count Otto too. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there is such a thing as a life-size doll. I mean, sex dolls. We don't picture somebody fucking a little Barbie.
He has sex with a rubber doll. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all.
Wait,
So,
you doing the rhyme game now? Go raps.
I'm just saying death to the doll. Yeah, so I think we know how Donnie feels about it.
Sounds like you're
How
not
about
wild
you,
about it either.
Linda? How about you?
You guys didn't see the 1970 Tales from the Crypt or the old Vault of Horror
Oh,
movie?
I had.
Okay,
I
well,
had.
this is the same shit
There's
as
also
the-
Hammer films, which were far better than this one.
I think Amicus was better than Hammer, honestly, because Hammer
I know
lost their spark
you
by the early
would.
70s.
I know.
No, Hammer was leading the curve in the 50s and the 60s, but by the 70s they were losing it and started making shit like To the Devil a Daughter, and they went to non-existence until they did that movie with Harry Potter later.
Speaking of which, I just watched I listened to our friend Chris's covering on I Saw It on Linden Street of To the Devil a Daughter. It was good stuff, really good stuff. But,
Did he
So what were
mention
your
the
thoughts
other?
on the movie, Linda?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like it was promising, but there were I don't know. It was just a little too ridiculous for me in parts. Like that the final story, I don't know, it's just a little too much for me. Where he's
Okay.
like, "I'm gonna sleep now, but really, I'm in a trance."
Yeah, he's going into his trance. But what about the wraparound though with Dr. Starr?
Hmm.
I wish it was a reach around. Oh, that one was. There was no point to that one for me.
It was awesome. He got all killed.
I legit was surprised because I didn't know that was a thing. I literally mean it. I could not remember anything of this movie. And
Yeah,
I was
the opening
fully
scene
entwined
where
watching this.
I
Right.
thought
And
you
I'm
were
like,
saying
oh,
Leonard
he was
Cohen was
Doctor.
the thing.
Oh, that was a thing
Yeah,
that
he pulls
mattered.
up and there's a sign that it's run by Dr. B Star, and he meets him. It's like, hi, I'm Patrick McGee from Macaco Orange. It's like, where's Dr. Star? It's like, yeah, oh, so I'm his associate. Dr. Star went insane. Go upstairs and interview the patients. Tell me which one of them is Dr. Star. It's like,
So, but we find out, like the big thing is we find out that there's like a part that falls off of the sign with B Star. It's actually R Star, and you find out that it's Ringo.
Oh,
Welcome to my
don't go dissing Ringo. Come on. The
I have-
Magic Christian.
I love Ringo.
Ringo's solo career is still better than Paul's. Fuck everybody.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, Paul.
Heads across the water, making up some shit.
Oh shit. And I mean, Yellow Submarine's my go-to drinking song. So, I mean,
I remember when we played on the Beatles Rock Band, and I told you you were not Ringo. You were being replaced because you really sucked at the drums.
I really do. I'm like more like Animal. Like,
Oh.
I don't know what I'm doing on the drums. Like,
Linda Bonham, more like.
Wasn't there a part where he was almost given like the Charlie Bucket ticket thing because he told him he failed his test?
Good day.
I know it's not a fever dream. I remember that.
Oh yeah. That right before Patrick Magee gets killed, he's all like, "You couldn't even guess which one's Dr. Starr." And the twist is that Patrick Magee's in a wheelchair. He never goes upstairs. He doesn't see Dr. Starr either, and he doesn't realize that Dr. Starr broke out, killed the orderly, and is acting as the orderly.
Yeah, he's like, you mustn't go in there.
So he didn't realize that he was in fact giving Robert Powell a trick question the whole time. I don't know if either of you has read Robert Bloch, but like this is kind of typical of him and like his horror / humor, which you'll see a lot in his short stories. Like he's really fucking great at short stories. Like for horror short stories, I can't recommend him more. Like very unique. Like he's not really a cheesy throwaway. And so
really
I
great at great fucking.
And he's not that big a racist like others of the generation.
Yeah, no, unlike his friends Howard and Lovecraft, he wasn't fond of throwing around the N-word. He wasn't a typical 30s guy, but he was also a lot younger than them. But he was just a Midwest boy who loved his mama, and he was known to say, "Oh, you know me, I have the heart of a small child. I keep it on my desk." Yeah. Like really, really good at horror. Not always so great at science fiction. I've read a couple of different things from him. But all around great fella. When he actually wrote a sequel to his book Psycho around 1980, Psycho 2, right around the time the studios were thinking of making their Psycho 2, which was unrelated, and they tried to stop him, but legally they had no standing because his original contract, he negotiated it well, unlike some people. And so there was a Psycho 2 movie and a book Psycho 2, and they were unrelated.
It's more Psycho.
Still Psycho after
all these years. Still psyching.
So the director of this movie, Roy Ward Baker, had done a lot of work for Hammer. Because a lot of the guys who work for Amicus work for Hammer. They do either, just like Peter Cushing.
Not Hammer Films, but MC.
That Linda. And Baker did Scars of Dracula. And he also did a film that is very dear to my heart in childhood. The 1960s The Saint TV series with Roger Moore. There was a movie of that actually got delayed and was released later as 2 episodes and then went to theaters. The Fiction Makers. That one Roy Wood Baker directed. I believe that is still streaming on Amazon right now. Really worth checking out. Very 60s, very fun. Kind of like spy fluff stuff. Yeah. For me, Baker's movies are very comfortable. Very familiar.
Like some slippers.
Yeah, like some poofy pink slippers on your toes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say on my twatters?
No, you're the only person who says that.
Oh, that's true.
Just like how the rest of us say the word nudity, and you can't say it for some reason.
Nudity.
You got that stutter somehow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your unabsorbed twin is in your skull, and there's in that speech region, and it just won't come out right.
Nudity. See?
No dudidity, no doubt.
Yeah. See, I say it just right.
Yeah. You do every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got the only movie where a doll stabs a person under its own power. Just saying.
But is it really out under its own power? I mean, it's being.
She gave it life, Doctor.
And batteries.
By the way, Herbert Lom, for those listeners who don't know, you probably know him as Inspector Dreyfus in the original Pink Panther series, who frequently went insane.
Or Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, and he was also in the Dead Zone with Christopher Walken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a big fan. Yeah. But this is my time. I love all these people. These are my peeps.
This is Adrian's time, right here, right now.
Yep. 10 years before I was born. This is my time.
So, do you have any information about Amy?
Oh yeah. What about her? How's she doing? Amy? Amy, what happened? What did you do? Amy, this is serious. Damn it! Where is it, Amy?
Yeah.
Where is my money? Where is it at? Okay, so unfortunately, this is another case where I could not discover a budget. Or, in fact, box office totals. For some reason, people aren't into keeping records from 1972. In fact, we found out the other week that they weren't really into keeping records from 1985 either.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. In fact, most of the reliable information that you're going to find out about box office totals is from 1986 onward. Which might not be a coincidence because movies have become more money-centric since then. But I can tell you what else was in release at the time that people were able to see this in the theater. For example, Daughters of Satan was out, you may recall. Yeah, with the which calls him some
Chipmunks.
Tom Selleck, goddammit. Yeah. 1776, the musical with William Daniels was out at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody open up a window.
Open up a window.
Also in theaters, actually released, I think the same day, was Dracula AD 1972. That's the movie that Donnie would have seen instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fellini's Roma was out. Hickey and Boggs with Robert Culp and Bill Cosby, back when Bill Cosby was just that guy from I Spy. Night of the Lepus was actually still in theaters.
Oh yeah, if you like,
you can see giant killer bunnies. And a couple of weeks later, The Asphyx came out, and Man of La Mancha with Peter O'Toole, The Poseidon Adventure, and a month later, The Getaway with Steve McQueen. So for you movie history enthusiasts, that's where this is grounded.
A lot of good movies on that list.
Yeah, it was a good time. Superfly came out that year. The Last House on the Left, Junior Bonner.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good depressing movie.
Last House on the Left? Yeah.
Yeah. Although it does have that part like where you're like, yes.
There's a reason. No, there's a reason that movie stands out. As amateurish and cheap as it is. Like it changed everything too. Like because anytime a movie comes along and you get that they used to call it a documentary quality. Where it wasn't shot super slick and cinematic. But yet there's believable violence taking place. People would literally lose their shit. Like they'd have to change the seats in that theater. Like when Cannibal Holocaust came.
Big underground hit.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, all the exploitation movies that came out would have to say on their poster, bloodier than Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
In fact, Sam Peckinpah, who was known for his violence, there was an interview with him from then. They're saying it's like so now there's those Last House on the Left type movies, and they're saying bloodier than the Wild Bunch, and Peckinpah's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, I've been too busy drinking.
Peckinpah. Peckinpah.
The guy was a fucking stage 10 alcoholic, but he always knew what he was doing when he was making those movies.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. But these are auteurs. We love auteurs. But there's sometimes something comforting about the workmanlike filmmakers who they're not geniuses necessarily, but they know what they're doing and they can deliver up the product. Because like it's as much as I fucking love artistic films, and my favorite films are movies that made no money, that 90% of the population will never have heard of and never care about if they saw them. But
That's
sometimes
Adrian's realm.
you like a cute little commercial movie sometimes, like The Ambushers with Dean Martin. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, it's more on that level that I enjoy Asylum. But aesthetically, I thought it was strong. I think they handled it really well. You get a lot of good lighting, despite the fact that it's still in that period where you're in general you're going to use that I Love Lucy quality production lighting.
It didn't really have much lighting in it.
Yeah.
There's the Weird Taylor has a lot in that one. That one's very shadowy. Yeah. And, because you get his shop, like he can't, like he only turns the light on when a customer comes in because he's at, the landlord, he can't pay the rent, so he's like literally having to pinch pennies. And then he goes over to Peter Cushing's house, and Peter Cushing also can't afford to have the lights on. He's got a fucking candelabra. And for the material for the suit, they used that same 3M material that they used the front screen projection special effect from Superman and from 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it reflects more light than glass does. It reflects more light than things around it. So you can light it only, and the other things in the scene will not be affected by it. So that's why it changes colors and the things around it don't. So that was done live. That wasn't done as an optical post effect, which I thought was cool. Practical effects are always fun.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
you just learned something today too.
Yeah. And this movie was shot at Shepperton Studios, which you may know from having been where they shot also 2001: A Space Odyssey, Alien, and Blade Runner.
And horses.
And yeah, don't they? I love Jane Fonda so much.
She's a fucking treasure.
She's fucking great.
God, I love her so much.
That's why I like 9 to 5. That movie's like the best treat ever. You
Really?
just want to hang out with all those girls, It's like you could find out that they did the worst atrocities in history. You wouldn't care. They're them,
Lily Tomlin on the side kills kittens.
Yeah. Well, no, at the alarm center, my friend Amanda, she would say of Dolly Parton, she says she could do anything and I'd forgive her. She could shoot the president, I'd be fine with it.
Oh, Dolly.
Yeah, it's just Dolly. Yeah.
And she'd be like,
Yeah.
Or more like,
Like the other week when we covered Magic, that's how I feel about Anne Margaret. Like, I just fucking love her. Like, it is a deep, abiding love.
Yes, indeed. I feel that's the same way about Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, they're fucking great. Like, some people just like transcend everything that way. Everything they do is magic.
On the side, I like to drown kittens in the river.
Like, yeah, somebody could tell you that they did that. Like it's like it wouldn't even register. It'd be like, oh yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, but
well, somebody was trying to tell me that like Marvin Gaye may in fact have like been killing hookers his entire career, and I'm like,
oh wow,
come on, man, he did What's Going On. Brother.
Bill Cosby sold pudding. And Leonard 6. Hello. You didn't need to see the other 5 to know that 6 was going to be great.
You remember when you remember though when those allegations came out? You're an 80s kid too. That went down hard. You're like, not Mr. Cosby.
It did.
Wow.
He's Mr. Huxtable. He wouldn't. No.
Is he going to bring out his giant marker and write out rape on a board for us with cool characters?
Yeah, it's like you really didn't want to believe it.
I raped a her tuba.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we all believe it now because the evidence is overwhelming, but like the love and the hate, like the change is so sharp.
But he went free.
It fucked with me. Like, it fucked with me hardcore because, like you're saying,
Yeah.
That's Dr. Huxtable.
He was part of our consciousness back then. Like, he was part of the 1980s mental identity.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to anything from like the early 90s or the 80s, and you look at commercial breaks from back then, he's on every one of them.
He was America's dad.
He just lived with you, man.
And almost anybody else could have done that, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy always looked fucking shady." But Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Jared from Subway, you believe it right away. I'm like, oh yeah, look at that fucker. God damn. Get away from me.
That guy's probably raping somebody right now while he's filming.
Jared kind of raped us with his presence, but Bill Cosby, it's like we were all so comfortable with him, and he was like the guardian of morality for a little while there, and it's just.
Did any of you put Cosby in your script doctors?
Donnie put Cosby.
Believe that I'm the doctor. I'm not. I'm gonna stab and choke you.
You thought this one was Dr. Starr. You thought that one was Dr. Starr. Turned out I was Dr. Starr.
I'm gonna choke you now, and you're gonna make the face go. Ooh.
What are you talking about? He's been strangled. He hasn't been strangled. He just had some movie star Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I put it in the Jell-O pudding.
God damn it. Y'all need Jesus.
We
Y'all
don't
need
have
Cosby.
God damn it. He's free now.
Yes.
Is he?
Yes, he's a free man.
Well, he'll never be loved again, so.
So.
Shit.
And on that note.
And then they cut up the pieces of Cosby and they come back and kill him. Or just finger him.
He'll be crawling on the floor in butcher paper.
And she tries to get him with the axe, but it's too quick for her.
You can just stand there screaming, looking at the pieces slowly wiggling toward you, and we'll be running to the car.
Yeah,
there's no escape. Where are you going?
But that's like zombies, though. Like it's not about the. It's not about
back
that
in your generation. They were called ghouls, not zombies.
Yeah, I see. You're trying to roll me into an old folks' home, eh? Tried to put me in the fruit cellar. So you think I'm a fruit eater?
And to some of the husbands, if you're in an unhappy marriage and it's obvious that your partner is just there for your money, and you're making them stick into this loveless marriage, and they say, "I've got something for you. It's in the basement." You generally don't want to follow them.
What is it, Harry?
What she really wanted that fridge.
In the crate, dear. Just go to the crate.
Yeah.
She really wanted that fridge. She just didn't think that she'd be in it.
That's why I couldn't laugh when he did the rest in pieces thing, because to me it still doesn't beat the just tell it to call you Billy.
Yeah. Oh, good times.
Stephen King and cocaine.
Even King with cocaine. Meteor.
If you've ever read Clark Ashton Smith's Return of the Sorcerer, it was kind of like that. I always like that, hands walking around like spiders.
Oh.
You know what? I guess we'll get to that later. But Donnie, did you find any reviews?
But he wrote something.
Oh, I did.
Oh, Donnie.
Laughed my ass off, especially at the end. Not scary. If you want a better rendering of the Taylor segment from this anthology, please see Boris Karloff thriller, The Weird Taylor. And Jerry Goldsmith's score for that thriller episode is exquisite.
That show really wasn't that good.
One of the best anthology films ever made? What? It's got to be close to the worst of all time anthology movie ever made. Oh my God. Body parts are scooting across the floor and I can't step over them? No, I must look into the room where he told me not to look instead of taking a diamond ring and minding my own business. I bailed.
Apparently that guy hasn't seen much anthology horror. I mean, most of it really is just shit.
Absolutely the worsted movie I've ever watched in my life of 50 years.
Worsted?
It was so bad.
I never learned
it
to spell it.
Funny. WORSTED.
Worsted weight yarn.
So they lived to 50, so they're in Iowa someplace, yeah?
Yeah. Some good stars, poor script and direction though. Shepperton Studios made some pretty enjoyable horror about this time in the swinging 60s, but this ain't one of them. Mostly boring, no scares, ho-hum.
They know that the studios just rent the space, right? They don't actually do the production.
I honestly can't remember what happened in this movie, but I paid for it. Boring as shit, but kind of funny. Not shocking, very slow moving, dull stories. There was no build up, and when started, it was like random low imagination thought situations.
Random low imagination situation.
Weird movie. The only thing creepy about it was that the lighting sucked. Scenes were so dark, as usual. Nothing scary here at all. Just stupid predictable, which made it even more boring. An entire hour and a half. But I got my nails done, and they look great. So all is not lost.
Are they like one of those birds where if you cover their cage, they get bored and go to sleep?
I don't know. This movie was so bad, we actually threw it away before we finished the DVD. It was bad enough that we would have felt dumb for passing it on to someone else. I think the good reviews must come from people who feel nostalgic about it. The acting is pretty bad and the story is silly. And a
They'll
review
never know who
made
Dr.
a
Star
month
is,
ago. This review was made a month ago, and I have to give them some credit because they seem to have a thing going in the first person.
Oh.
This is from a user, FartNaka27.
I saw that and I love it. I love it so much.
FartNaka27 was coloring during this flick, so was kind of looking up and down a lot. From what I got, it was okay. Nothing great. Not enough death and destruction for all FartNaka27. But it was a good background. Felt like I was watching Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes.
Okay, FartNaka27.
That showed up on Shudder, and I was
my hat's off.
I could like his.
The fact that they were coloring.
Most of these reviewers, I'd say we condemn them, but this one, okay, all right.
Oh.
People should follow that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like FartNaka27.
But FartNaka27 is taking us into their life.
Yes. I like it. There was a story.
Yeah.
It led us on an adventure.
I can relate. I color too. Cool.
Oh, FartNaka27. Hit us up.
Oh, for making us laugh about love again.
Super.
Did either of you guys see Dr. Terror's House of Horror with Donald Sutherland and Christopher Lee?
No, but I like Donald Sutherland. I especially like Donald Sutherland.
Bacon?
She would. Did you see Torture Garden, in which Jack Palance is a Poe collector who kills another Poe collector to get his super secret special Poe item, which turns out to be the living Edgar Allan Poe?
I thought you said pole collector.
Yeah, he collect me because I'm from the Eastern Bloc.
I like poles.
Want to get with you and take your picture.
The Legend of Curly's pole.
When you get that pierogi, it's like, come here and hold me.
Believe it or not.
Just me and Martha Stewart. We hang out. What can I say?
You'll have to find it on your own. But there's an episode that was funny as fuck just for the segment alone. But it was I think it was Warrior of Lore. I'm probably wrong, but it was a Mystery Science Theater episode, and they were trying to read excerpts from Jack Palance's book.
Oh yeah. At 25, missed call. Yeah. Wandered into the shot and they decided to keep it. What the heck does Avanti mean? I was just thinking about that last night. Weird. Yeah, that was
It's
on
really fucking
Outlaw
amazing.
of Gore.
Yeah.
Which I fucking not only did I first
Mama!
see that, first saw that without riffing, and I
Oh,
also read the
God.
book. I also read the fucking book that was based on.
Of course you did.
That was one of the
No,
first riffs
they-
where Lucille lost her mind laughing because the woman going, "You pathetic worm."
Yeah. That was not. Yeah, that was
Great
that's
delivery.
that movie was an example of Golan Globus being like, making a sequel later is hard. We'll just make both of them right at the start, little knowing that there'd be no market for them.
Yeah.
But no, the fucking John Norman Gore series, like I'd see them on shelves in the science fiction section in all the used paperback stores because like Dell would put out loads of them, They'd be like, oh look, these have Boris Vallejo color paintings and they're Sword and Planet and they look really cool and like people fight and shit. And what you don't realize from that is that when you get into the books, like there might technically be swords and planets and there might sort of be an adventure going on. But what it's really about is rape.
Mhm.
Oh,
John Norman loves rape. It's his favorite. His entire philosophy is that women all want it.
wow.
And
So
when they
he's
say
like
no, it just means rape them more.
the first incel.
Yeah, this is a guy who was a professor at a New York university for years and was married the whole time. And I get the feeling in real life, his wife's all like, yeah, you're done writing your book for today. We got to buy you a new suit. Come on. Like, no, leave me alone, you evil woman. I'm the master of you. No, get in the station wagon. You ride in the back.
Even Jodorowsky was kind of on the rape train a few times. So
Jesus.
He's method
Well, that was-
acting. He's different.
that was his premise for the Dune movie he never got to make. So
Looked like it would have been so awesome.
yeah,
But
they
instead
just
we
all
get
decided to get together and make Alien instead.
Which is good. I love Alien. I wouldn't want to live in a world where Alien hadn't happened.
Fair.
Yeah, no, but John Norman, like huge fandom since the mid '60s. Like people live their lives around his books, and his entire philosophy is just being a huge piece of shit to women.
Wow.
Yeah,
This has been one of those episodes.
yeah, we got Cosby earlier. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable.
Good. It's October. You're supposed to be spoopified.
That's
But-
just
But
uncomfortable.
Doctor, you can
That's
see I'm
that's
not
how you do a
mad.
proper haunted house.
It
You
wasn't
just
her
make
fault, it
people
was
feel
Linda.
really uncomfortable instead of spooked.
Linda did it. You see, she's right there.
Like we'll get our cousin David to just sit in a chair in a big room where your chair is right next to him. He just smiles at you the whole time, going, "Hey,
You guys and your
How you
fucking
doing?
cousins. I swear.
Like, hey, Jane Fonda drowned a couple of kittens.
wow, really?
Maybe.
Jane Fonda.
That's
I love her workout
insane."
video. She's so beautiful.
But see, they would have people like not. People wouldn't be crapping themselves. They would just be pounding on the door for us to let them out.
Like, I'm too uncomfortable. I need an adult.
Yeah. This house feels like a sex crime.
This house is a trigger warning. Let me out.
Don't call it the trigger house. It might get bad.
God damn it.
People mess with signs.
God.
Oh, okay.
Anything can happen on Halloween.
Well, Linda, you remember when you lived in Backache Boulevard?
Yes.
Backache Apartments.
Yeah, that's true.
That sign got stolen like daily.
Yeah, that's true. Oh. Hey, when I
Memories.
was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But so anyway, as Donnie said, anything can happen on Halloween. So, with
Every
that,
town has an Elm Street.
do you guys want to play Mad Scientist or Mad Doctor?
My doctor. How dare you?
I was just hoping we could keep going on with the uncomfortable silence.
See, we're adding to the spoopiness you feel.
Are you uncomfortable yet?
It's like people that start a sentence and then don't finish it, and then they continue it a few seconds later.
It's one way to talk.
Yeah.
I suppose it's
Welcome to Videorama's House of Uncomfortableness.
if a picture
I'm going to stand
1,000
dangerously
words,
close to you, and
then
I'll
why
just smile.
can't I paint you?
Wow.
I wonder
now the
where
children are
that
watching.
fish could be.
Fishy. Où est la poisson?
Went wherever I did go.
Adrian, I volunteer you. I chose
Already.
Now, see, that's more like the soundtrack.
It's 1973, and we're getting a sequel. Robert Bloch's The Haunter of the Dark, a sequel to Asylum. Robert Powell doesn't know he's dead, so he goes to a small, creepy, spoopy New England town, and you can see that clock tower from all over that town. What the fuck with there? The locals won't admit it exists, even though it's really obvious up there. So he finds his way over and gets into the attic, where the creepy entity comes out of the trunk. Ooh, spoopalicious! And it won't let him go. First, it must tell him 5 tales of terror, including The Outsider, which will prove to be earlier perfect for the final twist of the film. And, probably 4 other Robert Bloch stories. Jill St. John will be in it. Let's see. Let's do Jack Palance, since we mentioned him earlier, when he was doing some shit. They'll bring back Peter Cushing as a different character entirely. Donald Pleasance will be in there. It'll be directed by Freddie Francis. He can also photograph it. And, yeah, there you go. The Haunter of the Dark.
Done.
I couldn't really come up with one, so the only thing I could come up with is that it's a TV show featuring Lou Diamond Phillips as a mad scientist.
Yay!
And he shares 5 deadly experiments that he's made and the stories of how they became experimental monsters. And whoever it is he tells the story to ends up becoming a monster by the end. And I guess we'll call it Weird Science.
Something like a recipe.
Lou Dawson
Good old
Chance.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Who sang that song?
Yeah,
that was his song.
It's part of Oingo Boingo before Danny Elfman.
I'm pretty sure it was the
Anywho.
Pointer Sisters who sang Weird Science. As
Yeah.
most of our listeners would know.
Duh.
ABC that did that one?
Yes.
It was Yes.
It was a remake of the Aretha Franklin classic, Science is Weird.
What, are you saying that Soft Cell didn't originate that? Are you going to show me the raw data? I think your claims are spurious.
Well, according to Google, it looks
I do
like
love Soft
Billie
Cell.
Holiday actually sang a classic blues rendition of Weird Science.
We would just like to apologize to our listeners because we don't want to put any bad data out there.
That's got his own.
If you peel away the out.
Are you singing Skid now?
Up in the sky.
Linda, I can't help it if I enjoy classic music, okay? Especially early blues and jazz.
It was definitely a product of its time. It was all about racism. And people would always say it's like it's strange fruit and then weird science. Like,
Yes.
always. Like, Although sometimes Weird Science had more of an impact.
Yeah, people might think, Lady Sings the Blues was big, but not as big as Dead Man's Party, apparently. But that's really if you're a true fan of the underground music.
Of the arts.
Yes.
And it was then that Linda realized that was the only episode Danny Elfman ever listened to.
Yeah,
thought, fuck these guys.
It wasn't actually Frankie that says relax. It was Lucille Bogan.
Yeah.
Her lyrics were slightly more explicit, though.
And Danny Elfman thought, who the fuck is this? I hate them.
Do I owe these people money?
And Linda died.
He's no Jerry Goldsmith, so to hell with him.
Oh, excuse me?
Yeah, I'll say it again, motherfucker. Come over here and fight me.
All right. Danny Elfman's my music god. You saying it was Red Skelton who sang it the whole time?
I'll bust my bag leg off and beat you over the head with it.
So, Donnie, what did oh, you just shared yours.
Yeah,
I guess
what on
it's my
yours,
turn.
mother trucker?
Okay, for mine.
Does Danny Elfman and Idris Elba riding on a unicorn?
Oh,
God damn it!
Poopy.
That's nice. That's real nice, actually. And that brings us back to Jane Fonda, because for a while, Danny Elfman was married to Bridget. So, daughter of Jane.
And he couldn't prevent her from doing that terrible movie with Nicolas Cage. He was powerless to stop it. His life was just like the King of Marvin Gardens. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Actually, I felt like a movie did do the first story way better, and that would be Frankenhooker, that had all the monster prostitute body parts coming alive to
can't all be Frankenhooker.
Exactly, which is a shame. And so I feel like that already did that better, and Dolls did the wind up toy part way better. Yeah,
It's not obscure, so none of us could pick that one.
He almost did. It's pretty not well known. It's a video store curiosity.
Yeah, I always knew that one, but way before I saw it.
Well, Donnie pointed out that, because that was going to be one of my choices, but Donnie pointed out that it just left Shudder. So I couldn't have chosen that anyway.
Whereas my selection was still on Shudder.
Another one of my choices was going to be, yes, Donnie and I both wanted to do Doll Man, but he's not really a killer doll.
Oh,
so,
and he's still just a man.
He's just Tim Thomerson.
Just a doll of a man.
Little dancing man.
So I was thinking the way around that would be to do Doll Man versus Demonic Toys.
The Albert Young classic.
Here we are.
Oh no, you had to pick a good movie.
But with the genre just in general, I would say that I would place, okay, so here's my story. Okay, so this woman, let's have her played by Madeline Kahn, because I love Madeline Kahn. And her husband keeps fucking this sex doll. And she's getting jealous, right? Because she's not getting it. She's just like, why are you giving it to this doll and not to me? What the fuck? So she works some magic, perhaps some voodoo, in a sex doll, love doll factory, and makes them all evil. And so this movie is now all about all these sex dolls going around ripping the dicks off of their owners. Yeah.
Is there still an asylum in it?
Yeah, because all these owners, these packageless owners,
Oh, I see. Every cell has an inmate whose dick got ripped off by a sex doll, and Robert Powell just doesn't believe it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, so you're crazy. Got it. Okay. And then
if it had been the 1950s, they're like, oh, you got no dick? You're crazy, obviously.
He goes
Anything
to
without a penis is crazy.
He goes to one cell, and they're like, it was a sex doll. Ripped my dick off. And then he's like, oh, that's weird. Okay, that's a weird story. And then he goes to the second cell.
Use that as your title. Yeah.
And the second cell, the guy says, it's a sex doll. Ripped my dick off. And he's like, wow, that's really weird. And then he goes to the third cell. They got to take 5 to 10 minutes to tell the flashback about how the sex doll ripped the dick off. And every single cell, it's just like, his sex doll ripped my dick off. and then he's like, wow, this is getting kind of weird. And I'm uncomfortable now because I have a dick too.
Dr. Madeline Kahn, we'll see about that.
Toward the end, he opens up the supply closet. He's like, what's this? A sexy sex doll?
Don't mind if I don't. Oh,
hey, I'm gonna fuck this doll in the closet because that's what oh no! It ripped my dick off. And then flash forward. Well, actually, like you pan in on his face where he's like, oh, and then you pan out and he's wearing a straitjacket. He's like, oh. And the new doctor comes in and he tells him, the sex doll, it ripped my dick off.
I was actually hoping you were going to say there was a closet that was just full of ripped off dicks that just come pouring out.
Just stacked like cordwood.
Yeah, and then you have Madeline Kahn come out. That was my dick closet.
And no, don't look in there.
It's a cigar humidor.
And then he looks at her like there's a pile of dicks now. What the hell? And she's like, I told you not to go.
Girls gotta eat.
And then Terry Thomas pops up and says, can't you do anything neatly? Can't you? Can't you?
Oh, and it's going to be called Death to the Doll.
Okay. Investors, contact Linda.
I gotcha. So what? Anything left to say?
Madeline Kahn has excellent bone structure.
She does. Or did.
Yeah.
Was she a size 13?
You're like, what? A size 14?
Taffeta, darling.
In a coat of dicks, she comes walking.
Oh, God.
So with that, I guess I say please listen, follow, rate, and review. We're not Cage's Kiss. Videorama.
Don't review Cage's Kiss. Don't bother.
Fuck those guys. On Apple Podcast because it helps with the algorithm. It helps other people find us and it helps boost us to the top. It's like a Wonder Bra algorithm. So please give us a review. And if you do, it will earn you an on-air shout out. So yes, please, you could have your 5 minutes of fame. And speaking of on-air shout out, you could also support us much like a Wonder Bra does on Patreon. We're over on patreon.com/videoramapod. And there you, at certain levels, you can get buttons, you can get stickers, you could get a guest spot on our lovely show.
Fucking way.
Oh, fucking way. You can even suggest a theme that we should cover for a whole month, or you could suggest a movie that we cover. So, yeah, check it out.
Brother into a cat.
So, yeah, go check it out. And remember, you can find Videorama on Twitter at VideoramaP. And you can write to us at videoramap at gmail.com. That's it, right? Yeah. Okay. Videoramapod. VideoRamaPod@gmail.com.
Oh.
I can read. And check out our stuff on YouTube if you're not already, in which case you could see our uncomfortable silence and me scratching my ass.
Well, better them seeing it than having the audio version with big old gaps in it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Donnie, get a
Those
wind
are
sound effect for
staying
this
in.
one.
So check out my other podcast about witches in history and stories of all different midges. We also talk about heroic animals and just plain awesome animals in our favorite familiar segments.
Like Little Bub.
Like Little Boob. And Sergeant Stubby, my favorite. Oh my God, I still got to get a tattoo of Stub Life. Also, you can check me out in the second season of Forza Crowd as Mrs. Halverson. So, Adrian, what you got going on?
Lieutenant Murphy and no, wait, that's you.
And
Stilgar the Arby's. No, which one am I? No, I'm the guy who's on deviantart.com as Leo the Fox, LeoTheFox, all lowercase, all written together, all one word. I got my first art thief this week.
What?
I've been on there for 15 years, and this is the first time I've had my art stolen.
Wow.
There was an account that also stole from a friend of mine, and they pointed it out. They also stole my icon and posted it twice.
Congratulations.
I don't know. It's kind of flattering. I mean, I also got a
Someone
deviation.
took notice of your work.
Yeah, somebody took notice. Yeah. But yeah.
Thank you, loyal follower.
Yeah. Thanks, person in Malaysia who stole a bunch of shit and called it their own.
And if you go to his site on DeviantArt, you could also see his art where he's ripping dicks off.
No, Lupita. Oh, although I did once get a fave from a person like that, and their gallery was very frightening. But later they got banned, and I felt safer. Yeah, artists out there, when somebody favorites their work, just don't look at their other favorites. You'll feel better. It's all I don't get it. I take photos of puppies, and this is all girls' butts. The holes spread. Oh. What's this got to do with the puppy photo? I don't get it.
The great Muppet Caper.
It doesn't matter what you were doing. They put it in there with their girl butts.
Gaping.
It's better than a Fuda folder.
Oh.
And with Fuda folder,
it'll be around forever.
Donnie, where can the people find your Fuda folder?
Also on DeviantArt under the Arby's special. I'm Stilgar the Twi'lek on something of Instagram. I'm Unreal Goals on the Twitter, as well as on the View of Tube. I have something spoopulatarly coming out soonishly. And yeah, that's about all I can sell you aside some Fuda.
and Twinkie Twilight.
Speed.
There is nothing Twinkie about Fuda, believe me.
Twinkie Twilex.
Donnie, did you hear that Pretty Derby is out? I'm going to look for fan art.
Oh my. Summer sausages, people.
Oh, actually, I want a summer sausage. I'm vegetarian and I want a summer sausage.
You're vegetarian right now? How long has that been going on?
Like half a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bacon almost always brings me back though, so we'll see how long this lasts.
Bacon come back. You can blame it all
on cheese.
I was gone, and I just can't live without you.
So next week we'll be joined by an amazing guest.
Really? Really? Who?
Adrian's grandma.
Wait to see what they choose.
Oh yeah, you think I pick old movies? My grandma will tell you about something she saw in the 40s.
Called striptease.
I ripped a man's dick off with my bare hands.
Well, the thing about
pictures. You try gumming a dick off. It's not easy.
Wow, things are hard in the 40s. I did it yesterday.
She's got that meth focus.
Adrian's grandma's got that meth focus, everybody.
She lives
Good
area with
night.
a lot of meth doesn't mean she's meth focused, you bastards.
Oh,
And until then, Donnie killed the kid.
Try living in fucking
With-
Buffalo without doing a lot of meth.
with meth focus.
With meth focus.
Oh my god, you both have the meth colored glasses. Okay.
Uh,